Ito yung binigay sa akin na topic ngayong gabi. And it's actually not only about social networking, but it's a general topic on the whole area of media. And so pagka, I'm not a media expert, but I think this is just a general description of what media is. It's the different things that we actually see, we watch, we encounter, that communicates to us a message. Again, mahalata yung edad ko dito. But I was just reflecting recently, when I was in college, we were just dreaming of the possibility. Kasi as was mentioned, I'm an electronics communication engineer. At least I was studying that in college. And we were dreaming of the possibility of one day having a cell phone. That this cell phone is like something that was futuristic. We didn't call it a cell phone before, but a personal phone. Something that you could carry anywhere, any place, and you could call people from that phone. And at some point, when I finished my studies, right before I graduated, there was this idea of this cell site system. And by the time I finished my studies, there was this big phone available that was so expensive that only a few people could actually buy it. And then in a span of less than 5 years or even less than 10 years, the cell phone became available to most people. So that's one form of media. Before, the number of channels that you could get, even if you are very rich, is 4 or 5 channels on TV. Nowadays, it's more than that. So there is a wide variety of different things that we can encounter in our life. But let me just begin with a simple sort of thought. And that is, one of the things that we need to recognize in our life is we have to be careful and ask ourselves, can we just take in everything? Can we just take in everything that we see and anything that we can receive from media and accept it? It's a very important question to ask. And this question of what we take in is not a question that is only present in our day and age. Even during the time of the early Christians, this question was a very important question. The question of what forms our minds and our hearts. Let me begin with this. Just to prove the point. St. Paul, he was talking to a community in Philippi, which was Philippi was a place in the beginning of Christianity where there was a lot of rich people. Maraming mayayaman, maraming nagtatrabaho. It was a place of trade. And there was a small community there that was struggling, trying to maintain a way of life. And this is what St. Paul said to them. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Now, you might think, why would St. Paul remind a group of Christians who probably are already good people that they should think about good things? Para bang, obvious ba? Mabait naman kami But it's also very clear that in the experience of the early Christians, that there were other things and other values and other realities trying to influence the way they think and what's in their minds. Some of the things that they encounter with the people around them and the culture and the religion around them at the beginning of Christianity most likely led them to think about things that are not noble. Kaya sila winawarn. Now, why is the thinking and what we think and what's in our mind so important? Bakit kailangan nating pag-ingatan yan? here, the psalmist is describing something so basic. This psalmist, presumably, he's someone who really wants to be faithful to God, made some kind of promise to God. He said, I will walk with integrity of heart within my house. I will not set before my eyes anything that is base. Base here is useless, yung walang kwenta. Sabi daw niya, hindi daw siya titingin sa mga bagay na walang kwenta. Of course, I think he's not only talking about the physical sight, but also what we see influences what we think. But what's more important here is he was saying, I want to live a life of integrity. Yeah, integrity. Now, that word itself indicates something very crucial. He seems to admit immediately, okay, I want to walk in integrity. Integrity is a very interesting word. It means whole, buo. No? And he's saying that he wants to live a life that's whole. And you could presume that he's thinking about two realities. What's inside and what's outside. He's saying that I want to make sure, because he mentions the word heart, which is something or a reality that points to the inside, the things that people don't see, the things that's inside of us. And he's saying, I wish that what's inside of me will be the same as what's outside. Because you know what? If I look at something that's useless, I might end up living a life that's useless. And you could sum this up, again, with that very basic principle. These guys are, in a certain way, you might say, Raul, primitive yung mga yan eh. Wala silang masyadong na-encounter na kasing ganda ng mga na-encounter natin ngayon. Yes. But they are human beings like us. And what they struggle with are the same things we're struggling with today. And St. Paul said this, present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice acceptable to God. Now, ito'y medyo kailangan ko lang explain ng konti. In the Bible, when they use the word body, they're not only talking about the physical self. They're actually talking about the whole person. So here, you could translate this way. Present everything that you are to God. And my hope is that when you present everything that you are to God, what you present is something that is holy and good. Okay? Yun yung aim niya. But then, what I found quite striking is he then develops the idea, so how do you achieve that? And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove the will of God, what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Sabi niya, if you were to give everything of yourself to God, and if yourself should be holy, where do you begin? You renew and transform what's in your mind. Because what's in your mind can affect the way you live. Diba? So ngayon, we are, I think, very clear that if that's the case, then we need to make sure that what's in our mind and what we receive that affects what we think and the values that we have, we need to make sure that they are transformed and renewed so that what comes out of us is something holy. If what we receive and what we get is holy, then what comes out of us and how we live is also holy. Ito nakakatawa nga eh. Just to make it a little bit concrete. One time may nangyari sa akin. Papunta ako ng siguro na-notice ko lang, Iron Man. Mga nasa labas, Iron Man. Tapos meron pa yung isang recent movie, the Olympus Has Fallen. Ganyan. So, Yun yung mga nasa mind ko, para bang action, ganyan, action films, ganyan. Parang yun yung nasa mind ko, no? And maybe I was also a little bit impatient that day. Pumipila ako sa MRT. Pila akong ganyan, no? Talagang ganda kasi ng pila. Kasi pumila rin ako. As habang pumapasok na kami doon sa MRT, may sumingit na lalaki sa harapan ko. And I don't know what it was. Parang Olympus has fallen. Parang naramdaman ko. Bilang sabi ko, hindi mo ba naman na may pila? Gumanon ako. May pila eh. Sabi niya, wala namang pila eh. So pagpasok ko talaga doon sa loob, I used to live a very violent life. Anyway, I gave that up. But then pagpasok ko yung talagang, sasapakin ko to eh. Ganun talaga. Obvious naman na may pila eh. Ganun na pumasok sa isip ko. And then, as I was sort of reflecting, as I was at the Raul, bakit galit na galit ka? Ba't di mo na lang sabihin na may pila, tapos kung hindi siya edi wala kang magagawa. Sabi ko nga sa sarili ko, nga no, bakit ba? Then I realized, what was on my mind was Olympus has fallen. and for one reason or another, there was something inside of me that was a little bit violent that day. Now again, I'm just giving you one extreme example, simple example that I experienced. That's why this presentation is about the simple recognition that we live in a world where media is all over. When St. Paul was very concerned about making sure that he sees or he thinks about what's noble and what is good, he was thinking only often of what he heard from people, what probably some rich people would read in documents because not everybody has some kind of written document during their time. That was all he was concerned about. But it was enough to influence the way they think. Brothers and sisters, we live in a world that's a little bit more complicated. Because I realize that nowadays there is so many opportunities to see and to encounter realities that communicate truth to us. And that is media. Recently lang, ito, parang aaminin ko lang, parang ngayon lang ako medyo nagiging techie ng I like technology a lot. Pero for a while, I was just keeping a simple phone. Para bang, dito naman, simple na lang ako. Yung ano lang, text and call lang naman ako eh. E nung birthday ko, may isang generous na brother nagsabi, bro, ito, magandang cellphone. Iwan mo na yan. Yan, tinatouch mo lang yung screen mo pag linilinis mo eh. Sabi niya sa akin. So ito, talagang touch screen ito. Sabi niya ganyan. So ako naman, tinanggap ko. No? And for a while, I was, okay, maybe sabi niya, you will be able to serve more and communicate to people more. And you can even answer your email just using that phone. I already have it now, no? Gato ko ka-low-tech eh. First time tumawag, nakareceive ako ng long distance call sa kapatid ko sa abroad. Oh, naku, long distance call. So, hindi ko siya ma-on. Hello. Hello, ang dami ko na pinipindot. Ano ka, ginagawa to? Maya, siguro accidentally, na-slide ko, no? Na-slide ko. Hello. Sa kabila yung kapatid ko, hello, kuya. Sabi, oy, kumusta? Oh. Sabi niya, unang sinabi sa akin ng kapatid ko, bago cellphone mo, no? Sabi ko, paano mo nalaman? Bago, no? Touchscreen, ano? Sabi niya, touchscreen, paano mo nalaman? Accidentally mong nabuksan, ano? Sabi ko, kasi ganyan din ako, mga 2 years ago. Sabi niya ganyan. But then, again, the point is, when I started having this phone, I always was very conscious of what I could see there. And all I could see there was text messages. But then, when I started browsing, may YouTube? Pwede yung news? And I started getting the same information that I could get on my laptop, on my cell phone. And the point is, there is another source of information for me, right in front of me all the time, inside my pocket. And I could go on and on the scene, but we don't have time for that. And the main point is, there is a lot of input out there. I don't want to say at this point, I am not trying to emphasize that the things out there is bad. No. I'm pointing out the fact that there is a lot of source of information out there available to us in the modern world. Some of it is good, some of it is bad. And it's designed to capture your attention. It's designed to get you to look at it. Because if you don't look at it, it's useless. You won't end up, people who want to earn money through this system won't get what they want. It's designed to capture your attention so you could open and get into it. But the problem is, it is not neutral. It also tries to communicate a truth, a way of looking at things. I proved this one time, and I said to myself, like a picture like this. You know, there's a tendency, if I talk to some of the young people that I work with who are guys, they'd always say, Kuya Raul, there's so much temptation out there. And they're sometimes talking not about live people, but pictures that they see of women. Right? And one time, the three of my students came up to me. Alam niyo, nagtuturo ako sa Ateneo. No, may dati akong mga estudyante, lumapit sa akin. Sabi na, Sir, can you just be our teacher? Sabi ko, no, you're not my student anymore. What do you mean? We want you to be our teacher. Sabi ng isa, yes, sir, we want you to be our teacher. Sabi ko, okay. What's the problem? And these are three girls. Actually, three of them are quite good looking. And one of them said, Sir, you know, our current teacher, he won't tell you the subject and he won't tell you who he is, okay? But, sir, he would check us out. Sabi ko, okay naman. Hindi naman kayo tinitignan siguro ng malisyoso na. Nag-judge naman kayo. No, sir. They check the parts of... Okay. I get your point. And, sir, that's not good. And I said to myself, as I was listening to them, okay, I was a little bit honored that they felt that when they were my students, I did not treat them that way, that I respected them. And I was telling myself, okay, Raul, make sure that you keep on respecting your students and respecting women. But at the same time, I realized that media sometimes can project women in such a way that men can make the mistake of looking at them as sex objects. Right? So, sabi ko, wow, nga, no? I mean, the truth is, this is not the truth about women and how women want to be treated. Right? This is an example of my three students. But that's not what we see out there. So, a simple ad like this contains truth, contains a way of looking at things. And I said to myself, oo nga, ano? And it's all over. It's in your cell phone, everything, in the movies that we watch. Not everything is bad, as I said, but it's meant to sell. It's meant to capture our imagination. No? And we don't have time, a number of people recognize not everything out there is actually bad. There are a lot of good stuff. No? Like you could watch Kung Fu Panda, and in Kung Fu Panda you would discover what it means to find yourself and be confident. There are truths that are really good. But at the same time, this is the list of the top films in 2013, and normally you get a good mix na wala naman masama, no? Doon sa napapanood natin na sells. But sometimes you get something like this. This is a picture of the bestsellers in maybe last year, no? Bestsellers last year. The problem is, mixed in with the good are also the things that are really not good. But they become something that's good. I don't know if you noticed one of the books here. It's 50 Shades of Grey. Right? This is very popular among young people. And the problem is, it's so bad, they sell it as something good. And this was an eye-opener to me. May nagsabi sa akin, uy, nako, did you read this 50 Shades of Grey? It's popular among young people. I said, because maybe I'll buy it and I will read it. Because it's popular with young people. Yeah, I will find out and study. Then somebody gave me an e-book copy. Excited. Sabi ko, babasahin ko na to. And I mentioned it to my co-teacher. It was a married woman. And I told her, hey, I'm about to read this, it's popular among our students, Then he said, Raul, don't even open it. Don't read it. That's pornographic. Sobra naman. It's, really? So, but I believed it and I said, okay, I won't read it. But I went to the bookstore. And I went into the bookstore one day, I wasn't even looking at, and I saw this 50 Shades of Grey, and students are buying it left and right, and young and old, middle-aged women, very young women were buying it. So I go, what's this book? So finally I said, okay, I will mention this to the brothers that I will read it, and I will look for the bad part. Hanapin ko lang. Pag nakita ko na, basahin ko, at tignan ko how bad it is. So, I opened, I looked, and I skimmed. Ang bilis akong magbasa eh. So, Oop. Then I read. It only took me 2 paragraphs. And I said, wow, these are the things that I read when I was in high school, when I was hiding from my parents that I was reading an X-rated book. And it's in an ordinary book being sold. So I said, no. Maybe people actually know it's bad. So, yeah, I won't read this. And I would tell people it's bad. Suddenly, the next week, one of my conservative students, a girl, told me, Sir, have you ever read 50 Shades of Grey? And I immediately said, yeah, that's bad. That's a bad book. It's pornographic. Sir, come on. It's not pornographic. It's a little bit sexy, but not pornographic. And no, it's pornographic. Sir, it's not pornographic. It's just a little bit sexy. Have you read pornographic material before? No, sir. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, what you're reading is the same thing that I was reading when I was in high school, and we defined it as pornographic. X-rated. Sir, that's too much. Then a guy heard our conversation. And sabi nung estudyante, yes, sir. Maybe during your time, it was X-rated, but nowadays, it's just soft porn. Sabi ko, you guys, you don't have a way of measuring it. I do. Sabi nila, ito ngayon tuloy, bigla tuloy ako napaamin. Sir, how do you know? Because I have read X-rated things when I was in high school before I became a religion teacher. And it opened their eyes. But my main point is, that's the kind of world we live in. What is so bad is sometimes found in a seemingly good thing that's promoted. So we need to work hard to apply St. Paul's suggestion. Let's be wary of what's out there. But at the same time, there are a lot of good things also. A lot of good books. No, so it's not like I'm telling you don't read books, no, there are a lot of good things out there. But it's sometimes very challenging because it's mixed with also not so good things. But this is my own experience. It is true that good things, they last longer. That's my experience. in any kind of information, any kind of literature, the good things last longer. One classic example is this story, Les Mis. This is a classic that was written by Victor Hugo. And Victor Hugo was this author. You could also read other books of his, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's also from Victor Hugo, the same guy who wrote this. He was writing during a time when people were struggling with the idea of what is good. That they were struggling about the idea of how do you promote good amidst an environment where people seem to be confused of what is good, what is just. And then he wrote a wonderful story of forgiveness, of love, and of also the discovery of God. And it's amazing that this story has lasted, his time, and is continually respected as one of the most beautiful stories that people can talk about. Why? Because what's behind it is something good. And it actually lasts. Okay, I'm about to conclude here. Now, let's just go to the internet, just quickly, Yung internet, it's available, just to show you how much developed we are, how fast it's moving. In the 1990s, ano mo lang yan? 10 million lang ang gumagamit. Ngayon, nasa 1.9 billion ang gumagamit yan. And it won't stop increasing. So, one of the things that we need to be careful of is social networking. And it's also out there. It's a source of information. It's so popular because that's my Facebook page. So, to be safe, I just opened that. And why is this popular? Again, it's popular because it's designed to be promoted to normal human beings like you and me. What's a normal human being? Somebody who does not want to be alone. Diba? So why did Friendster and the other things did not succeed? Why did Facebook succeed? The simple explanation is, it was the fastest social network that was able to provide a person to connect with people instantly. And with a face. And if you study the history of the people who made Facebook, they began with a simple experiment. Can we actually send out profiles of biodatas of the prettiest girls in our university and find a way where people could vote who's the prettiest? And let's create a program that would give an opportunity for the students here to do it instantly. That's what they did. And people started also uploading other suggestions. She's not the prettiest, and it became like a fad. And then they realized we developed a program wherein we could actually send our personal data and allow people to get to know us. And also that we can get to know them. And that just went so fast. And the problem with this, the challenging thing, it provides information, but it also provides an opportunity for us to connect with people in ways that prevent us from seeing the reaction. So some people say that this removes the normal tendency for us to be shy and to be inhibited. Often, when you're thinking, shall I tell this story to my friend? But this is personal. And I've done this many times when I was growing up. Yung bang, sige na nga, kukwento ko na nga. So gagawin ko, hindi ko man kukwento lahat. Alam mo dati may taong ganito yung biro mo nangyari sa kanya yan, biglang pagkita mo, ay grabe naman yung tao na yan. Hindi mo natutuloy kasi di ba? Alam mo, ako, hindi kaya nito. But they say, the social network has provided an opportunity for some of us, for many of us, to actually express our idea without thinking immediately of how people would respond. Diba? Kasi wala naman sila dun Diba? And sometimes this has created problems and realities that people have not faced before. Because sometimes, even if you have this response, ano ba naman yung pinost mo? medyo matagal pang dumating yon or sandali. It's not immediate. Hindi katulad yung pag sinabi mo sa taong kaharap mo, may instant reaction sila. And that sometimes prevents you from opening things that you're not supposed to open to people. I'm just giving you one example. This is a new way of relating to people. And because it's a new way of relating to people, we need to be careful that with it is the good and the bad. The good and the bad. And we need to be conscious of what's out there. And sometimes, I just change my page and to say, okay, this is who I am. This is my family. These are the most important things to me. And I realized that not everybody, some of my students, kasi marami akong mga estudyante, di ba? Minsan, binubuksan ko yung profile nila, checking ko kung estudyante ko sila. Pag-check ko, ay nako, ba't naman ganito itong mga suot, itong mga batang ito? Sige, okay, lipat na lang natin. And then, they're not conscious, they're not thinking. Okay? But that's what we need to be conscious of. Let me just say a few things about the internet, some suggestions, and then a few more practical things, and I will conclude. The internet can be helpful in many ways, including giving us access to Christian helps that we could not easily get otherwise. But it can be addictive and can be a source of bad materials. Why can it be addictive? Because it was designed to be addictive. I mean, if you are an ad person or in advertising, I think you would understand where I'm coming from. It's designed to capture you and to actually create a response that is good inside of you. And a good feeling is addictive. And many of the things that are designed in internet is meant to promote that. And so that's why we need to be careful. We should avoid indiscriminate browsing. One of the things that I often, when I would mention it again later, is I think when you browse, decide first why you are browsing. No? Yung bang, ba't mo ginagawa ito? That's an important thing. Computers at home should be in a public place where others can notice what is on the screen. When you're, the problem is, diba, our laptops are personal diba? Sometimes I often would also I work with my laptop where people could see. So that at least it helps me also be careful on what I actually am browsing and seeing on my laptop. I try to be as open to people about it as best as I could. Now, especially pornography is one of the biggest industries these days. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Up to now, it sells. And it's not only available on TV nowadays or in movies. It's available also through the internet. So let's be careful of that. We need others to help us filter that material we engage in. Now, sometimes having somebody that you can share with, alam mo, may struggle ako sa area na to. Can you help me? All I need is for me to mention it to you. That I again fell into the trap of seeing things that I should not see. So, ask the help of others to help you filter what's there. Sometimes what some people do is kasi meron yung parental control. Nakita niyo na ba yan? Para sa parents dapat yan Para sa parents. But sometimes they turn it on for themselves. So that they would warn, above 18, you should not watch this. But I am not above 18, no. But it's made mainly to help me not to watch something that I should not see. Sometimes people do that, which I think is a practical thing. What do we do in general? Some last things, and I will conclude here. Sorry, I took longer. Hopefully you at least found this helpful. Again, it's very clear. Be purposeful in the use of media. Don't just use it without any reason. In all this, aim to build relationships. Social networking. Use Facebook to really build relationship with people. No? It's a tool. But sometimes people fail to appreciate that it's just a tool that you can use to actually meet people face to face. No, di ba? Yung bang makita na tayo sa Facebook, huwag na tayo magkita face to face kasi okay na yon. I mean, it doesn't build relationships, right? But Facebook is just a tool that we could actually increase our ability to communicate, but again, it's just a tool. Last but not the least, pornography and bad things, it's out there. So, make a choice first to avoid those bad things. And by the way, nowadays, it's so much out there that even if you're looking for something that's good, there is always something bad. I typed in for image, kasi I would often type images that I can use for my talks. I typed in, napaka-innocent, love and sacrifice. O pag open ko, next, pang-limang image, babaeng nakahubad. Oh, they love that, they want to sacrifice. O siguro na-connect hindi ko alam paano umabot yan dyan. But, again, the main point is, even if you don't avoid the bad, if you don't even take that step, definitely you will find something that's bad. Because even in the pursuit of just the good, there is already some bad things out there. Again, hopefully, brothers and sisters, this is a topic that we could actually go on and on talking about, but we don't have that much time, and hopefully you found that helpful. Okay, thank you very much.